Interesting, given that Mary Barra is on his strategic and policy forum. But once again, they're in the crosshairs today.
Yes, I mean, we know that Ford have been the crosshairs in terms of moving things. This GM plant has been around since 2015. This was a move from stop making cars in Korea, where it's more expensive than making cars in Mexico. I've been saying for a long time that if you really wanted to make this so it was a level playing field, you'd have to change NAFTA, or at least give it a currency. When NAFTA was put in, the Mexican peso was 4-1. Now it's 20-1. So there's just such an advantage in building cars there. Without changing NAFTA, instead of putting in border tax, you have to change NAFTA. I mean, NAFTA is about no border tax.
Right. The issue of the border tax is certainly one that we're going to be dealing with for some time, and a concern, I think, for investors in certain companies.
Oh, yeah.
I think you have to view everything sort of in a broader context. You're going to give tax reform to a lot of corporations. Their margins are going to get better. But if they are importing a lot and are actually going to become victim to that border tax and either have to raise price or take some of the margin away because they don't want to raise price completely, whatever the border tax is, it's all going to be a lot of give and take. It'll be very interesting to figure our way through these things if and when they actually happen.
Well, this is an example of something I'm concerned about. NAFTA was a joint Republican and Democrat. Okay, it's not like the Republicans are necessarily now going to turn on NAFTA. NAFTA is, if you are a business Republican and if you have been susceptible to lobbying by a business or businesses, then Trump can tweet only once.
But here, GM they made their response quickly and made it very clear. Almost all the cars built in Mexico are sold in the world market, not in the U.S.
Right. Right. No, look,
he can't stop U.S. companies from building cars they sell around the world outside the U.S.
Right. I mean, this was very different from going to a Ford plant, which actually wasn't about to move, and saying, listen, we're going to keep these jobs here. To bring those jobs back, you have to make it so that it is just punitive to make anything in Mexico, and that means that you have to either change the terms of NAFTA or scrap NAFTA. And I am saying that if you're going to fight this battle, you're going to lose it.
Who's going to lose it?
Trump will lose NAFTA. He will not be able to change NAFTA overnight. NAFTA was a Republican and Democratic initiative. And I just think that this may not be something that's so easily done, as opposed to deregulation, tax reform, repatriation. And one of the reasons why it's so easily done is because what do? GM's making cars in Mexico, so they just ship them to other places.
Right.
I mean, the way to avoid that is to not send things here. Well, if you want to do that, I mean, Mexico is a place to be able to export everything.
What about Audi, which is not a U.S. company making things in Mexico and then sending them here? Or is there going to be a border tax there too? Or that would have to be fair, right? You have to do that if you're going to do it to U.S. manufacturers.
In my talks behind the scene with some of these people, they don't seem to believe that it matters what company it is. In the end, they want NAFTA to change. And if NAFTA, it's going to be tougher to change. If you decide that NAFTA is at the top of the queue, then a lot of things that we expect are going to happen immediately will be rolled back. We don't know when the tax changes are going to be made. And let's not forget, a lot of people didn't sell because they figured the capital gain is going to go lower in this year.
Yeah.
But we don't know. I'm just saying that this is a hard fight. It's a hard fight because you're fighting with your party.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.